Hello and welcome to Unemployed to Legend episode 5. My name is Craig, and coming up on today's episode, 2 League 1 games against Swindon and against Hull City, away and at home respectively. And since the last time you were with me, we've managed to hit a bit of form. We had those 9 games all in December, and as you can see, we finally started picking up some points and getting some clean sheets and scoring some goals. I kept lamenting how many chances we'd actually created, but we just couldn't put them in the back of the net. That problem seemed to thankfully sort itself out. 7 wins and 2 draws in the last 9 games after we lost to Bristol Rovers. What did change was our formation. We no longer play an attacking midfielder, so Slattery has dropped back into that central midfield role as a Mazzala. And we now play a deep line playmaker at the base of the midfield. Normally that would be... who would it be normally? Lee Evans. And why is Crankshaw unregistered? Company not registered. Not registered. What? Okay, I'll sort that out in a moment. But we've decided to play a playmaker further back, and it allows the front 3 to all have space in order to operate up front. Balogun has now started to score goals as well. I believe he scored 7 goals in the league for us from 15 appearances finally, and he's playing as in that advanced forward role as well, which will make Arteta very happy, so we can keep him for the rest of the season hopefully. Right, let me go and sort out these unregistered players, and when I come back we will get into the game against Swindon. Okay, now that I've got that out of the way, this is the team that we're going to send out for the game away at Swindon. There is a slight rotation to it, but I will let you know which players normally we would be playing within our first 11. So we have Jones in goal, a back 4 of Pearce, who's back from injury, Lynch, Mengi and Nguinda. James at the base in the midfield. Normally that will be, where is he, Lee Evans, but I've promised him a bit of a rest because he is a little bit jaded. Slattery and Perry in midfield, Solomon Otterbourne, who has signed a new contract on the left wing, Massey, who could leave us this month, more on that in a moment. He'll be on the right wing with Following Balogun up front. Joe Garner is of course on the bench, so chances are he'll probably come on anyway at some point in the game. Tom James will be getting some match fitness in this one as well. He's just come back from injury after 3 months out. So quite a few bit of team news to go through. Notably, I'm now not doing team talks. I've left that to my assistant manager, and to be honest, if it works, if it continues working, I'll just stick with it. As far as the team goes, Massey and Pearce still want to leave, and that could happen this month. On top of that, Mengi has been more tired recently, so he's been rested effectively once every 2 games effectively, which is fine, as long as I can play Lynch and Darnell Johnson, who is on the bench today. We do have that option per se, and Balogun is bringing the ball forward here. Can he score? And that was a very poor shot from him in the end. He did well against about 3 or 4 different defenders. Also, apart from Pearce being back from injury, James being back from injury, Callum Lang should be back in about 3 weeks, so hopefully he'll be back by the end of January. And speaking of January, it is now the transfer market, which means signings to come in, because there will be a few players leaving, as well as Massey and Pearce, who both want to leave, and chances are they probably will. Slattery may leave because his manager will not be happy he's not playing as an attacking midfielder, but it sorts out the problem of us actually playing with too many players up front. And speaking of Slattery, he's just put the ball away from a penalty. First goal of the season, absolutely wonderful to see that. Probably won't do anything for Hassan Huttle, his manager at Southampton. He'll probably still say, well, he should be playing up in attacking midfield. You can play centre mid. What's the problem? We're going into break half time, 1-0 up. And our XG is actually looking good, 1.07. You love to see it. The penalty did help with that, to be fair. And another player who is going to be leaving this month, in fact in a few days, by the time we get to the next game against Hull, will be Matty Palmer. He was on loan for us from Swindon, ironically, which is why he's not in the squad today, because he can't play against his parent club. Unfortunately, he will be leaving after this game, which is a bit of a shame. He's been a very good player for this month. Nevertheless, it is a case of, well, yeah, it is a case of we can't bring him back. Swindon won't let us have him. They won't loan him out to a divisional rival. Let's have a look. Lee Evans will come on. I like having the screen up. There you go. And we've got 3 defenders on yellow cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Darnell Johnson on for Lynch. Lynch has played a lot of games actually recently, so it'll be good to give him a bit of a break. Massey's also looking a bit tired as well, so what I'm going to do is we're going to bring on Ollie Crankshaw for Massey on the right hand side. So is Otterbourne and Slattery, but they're unfortunately just going to have to continue. Actually no, wait, we can make more than 3 subs. What am I doing? Mary's not really what you'd call a Mazzala, so I'm going to have him as a central midfielder, just playing that support role for hopefully the final few minutes. But overall, apart from the fact some of our squad is starting to look very, very tired, there are going to be a few changes in the transfer market, in the transfer window. A few leaving, hopefully that will mean a few coming through. As mentioned, we do have a few players on a shortlist, or as on our radar, and a couple of them are actually on loan, especially in that central midfielder area, which is where we could be the weakest once all is said and done. Obviously Matty Palmer leaving, Dan Gardner, he's going to be leaving, he's out of contract weirdly in January, I don't know why. Will Keane is leaving, he's out of contract up front. Evans is jaded, could do the rest. Well, he's played a few less games, a few less minutes in that game, so hopefully that'll help him out a little bit. We'll see what the situation's like when we get to Hull in our next game. So now the team that we're going to send out for Hull, there's been no changes in terms of transfers, but what has changed is some of the players that are coming back into the squad. So Matty Palmer's loan is now finished, unfortunately. So we now welcome back Lee Evans as that deep line playmaker at the base of the midfield, and Alex Perry, who will play alongside Merry for this game as, where is he? Slattery. Okay, he's... why is he not playing actually? Get back into the starting 11. I don't know why he's not playing, or why I didn't have him down to not play, to be honest. Johnson is also playing at right back today in place of Nguinda, just to give Nguinda a bit of a rest, to be honest with you. So effectively I have 3 centre backs on the pitch. But, oh, and Balogun's playing on the right, shouldn't he not be on the left? Although he can play on the right anyway, just to give Joe Garner a bit of time up front. Massey is on the bench, of course. With just a little bit of rotation, just to give some players a bit of a break. The reason I was a bit surprised that some of these players not playing, I've just been away from the table, to be honest, for a little bit, and generally just wanted to get to playing this game just after I'd done a few things. But in between the 2 games, just been looking at different players who could come in, players who could go, and apart from Matty Palmer and Jude Russell has now gone back to Crystal Palace after his loan spell. Nothing really has changed in terms of the squad at the moment. Oh, Dan Gardner, his contract is officially finished as well. Next up will be Will Keane's to finish. So a few changes have happened, and a few bits of wage budget has come back to us, so we can still bring in a few players anyway. Of course, at the moment Hull are having the best of the chances, it seems, so we're not too far behind. We did start getting better towards the end of the first half, but it remains 0-0 at the break. Of course, again, not doing team talks. I haven't done team talks since November in this game, to be honest with you. It's fine. I'm still getting used to doing team talks with this game anyway. I know what the assertive option is. But otherwise, to be honest with you, I don't have too much of a clue about what the effects of what the others do at the moment. In fact, let me just... Did I just click on set piece? No. Yes, I did. I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to do this. There we go. Right, Lynch is on a yellow card, so he's going to swap with Darnell Johnson, who I didn't want to click on. And Gwynda is going to come on. And who else isn't playing that well? Otterball isn't doing too well, so we're going to put Massey on, switch over with Balogun. We'll see if that does anything, just to try and spice up a little bit of our attack. And the first highlight of the game, of course, is Hull, and thankfully it's a tame header into the hands of Jamie Jones. Garner lost the ball, but Balogun picks it up, and he's just played it through there. Lovely little ball through to Garner. Can you pick anyone up in the box? And that is Massey. Oh, I thought that was in. Just thought that was in. Slattery is starting to look a little tired, so we're going to send on Chris Merry. See how this highlight goes, because I did want to give a little encouragement, but I was wondering who that was to. Thankfully that was to no one, and Balogun has picked up and just taken it right across our defence. Evans, Pierce. That was a terrible ball forwards. I know he was aiming for Garner, and unfortunately Lewis Potter has brought forwards the ball, but thankfully Jamie Jones has equalled to it. And right now we have about 4 minutes left. Why have I got hit early crosses on? I have no idea. I'd rather they just take the ball forward. And we're just going to make a quick sub, I believe. Balogun up front for Joe Garner. I just realised that no one can actually go out wide. Solomon Otterball. We're going to leave Garner up front. We've got no choice. Complacent. Jolly maybe? Try him. We haven't actually tried him many times this season, and I don't think it's actually going to do anything that late in the game, but it's just some fresh legs. And overall, a 0-0 draw against the league. I didn't mention Hull are the league leaders. I feel like I've focused heavily on just going through the team and any players who have actually left or anyone who's coming in, even though no one has actually come in yet. And as you can see by the league table, if we just have a quick look here again, we do end the episode 3rd in the league, so from 4th to 3rd, 4 points from those 2 games. I'm very happy with that, to be honest, especially the whole game. Yes, it was at home, but it's against the league leaders. You can't be too disappointed with a draw against them. Remember, we're only supposed to fight bravely against relegation. I think we should be doing much better than that. If we end in or around the playoffs, to be honest, I'll be very happy, especially with the squad size that we'll probably end up having at the end of January, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see also who we bring in. Now, Lee Evans and Mengi are both jaded. I believe now we got a 10-day rest from games. Yes, we do. So the next game is away at Rochdale on the 16th. I'm going to come back somewhere in February, so it'll be after the transfer window closes. So hopefully we'll be able to go through any new additions to the squad. There are a couple of people I'm looking at the moment, but we shall see who does or who doesn't come in, and who does or doesn't go out of the club. He's hoping we can get a good few new players in, just to give this squad a bit of a kick up the backside, if you will, even though we've done well recently, but it's always good to strengthen. So if you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button and click subscribe down below for more Football Manager content. Again, I'm always trying to improve every video that I put out there, so any feedback that you give me in the comments would be absolutely fantastic. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I'll see you in the next video.